7 o'clock.
Today's news.
Details about the allegations against Pete Hegseth. West Coast bomb cyclone.
It was really gusty. It sounded like a freight train.
Going after Google
for Google's enduring search monopoly.
Good morning, I'm Steve Kathan with the CBS World News Roundup. New information about two key cabinet picks by President-elect Trump. CBS News has learned of Venmo records related to claims that Attorney General choice Matt Gaetz paid for sex. And a police report is out from a previous sexual assault allegation brought against Defense Secretary selection Pete Hegseth. Here's CBS's Scott McFarland.
A police report was released detailing a 2017 sexual assault allegation against Fox host Pete Hegseth. The accuser, referenced as Jane Doe, reported feeling like she'd been drugged and recalls saying no a lot while in a hotel room with Hegseth, where she says he prevented her from leaving and that he was on top of her. Hegseth told police he was buzzed but not intoxicated, that the encounter was consensual, and that Doe seemed regretful after sex. The Trump transition team continues to publicly support Hegseth as a nominee. It comes as Matt Gaetz returned to Capitol Hill lobbying to be Attorney General, just as he received at least a temporary reprieve. The U.S. House Ethics Committee ended its Wednesday meeting at an impasse without releasing what they found about the former congressman. The Republican chair told CBS News revealing the findings publicly is inappropriate after Gaetz's abrupt resignation last week.
Correspondent Ed O'Keefe has more this morning on how billionaires Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy intend to slash the federal budget.
Writing in the Wall Street Journal today, they talk about the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, and how it is seeking a lean team of small government crusaders to find thousands of regulations Trump can pause or end with executive orders. Then they want to slash the federal workforce, writing that the number of federal employees to cut should be at least proportionate to the number of federal regulations. So if they cut your regulation, they want to cut your job. Musk and Ramaswamy argue they'll be able to identify thousands of employees to let go. They plan to target federal funding and grants to public television, Planned Parenthood, wasteful Pentagon spending. Whether or not the president can do this on his own will be a big legal fight in the next Trump presidency.
At least 2 deaths are blamed on the powerful storm system that's lashing the West Coast, bringing strong winds and heavy rain, and in some places deep snow. CBS's Carter Evans is reporting this morning from Washington State.
I just had a tree hit my house and it fallen on my wife.
The Bellevue Fire Department got that 911 call just after a tree fell onto a home, striking and killing a woman in the shower.
It's looking like we might have to get a crane out to lift the tree up.
Across the Seattle area, the bomb cyclone did overwhelming damage to some neighborhoods, and the historic storm brought gusts over 50 miles per hour.
I'm just gonna imagine I'm in a nightmare.
In Bonnie Lake, this woman says she heard the crashing sound of a tree fall onto her house. Now it's unlivable.
We're not gonna have a place to live for a while.
Rob Marciano is in Eureka, about 230 miles north of San Francisco.
The onslaught of wind and water continues. Massive waves coming in here, 10 to 20 foot breakers punishing this coastline, and the rains have been relentless.
The parched Northeast is getting its first significant batch of rain in nearly 2 months. It's due to help the wildfire fight in several states. Up to a foot of snow is forecast in parts of Pennsylvania and West Virginia. Overseas, Russia has launched new missile attacks on several locations in Ukraine overnight, including the use of the first intercontinental ballistic missile in the war. The European Union labels that a clear escalation. CBS's Holly Williams is in Kyiv.
Some believe that both Russia and Ukraine are trying to maximize their gains before President-elect Donald Trump takes office. There are fears here that Trump could cut U.S. support for Ukraine.
The International Criminal Court has issued arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, his former defense minister, and Hamas officials, accusing them of war crimes and crimes against humanity over the war in Gaza and the October attacks in Israel. 4 minutes after the hour.
Well, that's today's news. I didn't hear any good news, did you? I didn't think so. I guess it's all about perspective. The glass is half full. Well, as always, I'd like to thank you again for coming along with me on these dash cam news adventures. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody. It's 51 degrees in Vacaville, California.